Hello, everybody, and welcome back to NCAA 2004. We are back in the Alabama Dynasty here, coming off a pretty big loss to the number 17th ranked team in the country, and at a conference loss to the Southern Miss Golden Eagles in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And that it doesn't get any easier from there as we are rolling into another ranked opponent. After dropping down to 20, we now play the 9th ranked team in the country in the Arkansas Razorbacks on a 10-game win streak dating back to last year. And we beat Arkansas by 10 points last season, 24-14 at home in Bryant-Denny. So we are now on the road here in Fayetteville, Arkansas, playing the Razorbacks. And the way that lines up, I'm curious if that means that after we beat them, if Arkansas hasn't lost a game since. And that doesn't work. They may have lost 1 or 2 games afterwards, but from the second half of last year into this year, they have yet to lose a game. So they're on quite a run right now. If they could string that together during one season, then they might have some natty hopes. Who knows? But Arkansas is coming into this game here with some pretty high expectations already, being 4-0 to start their year. And they, if you look at the conference standings, they're sitting at the bottom because they have yet to play a conference game. We are their first conference game. We are higher than them because we've already played a conference game against Kentucky and won. So we're coming into this game looking to pick up a second conference win, and despite our loss early on in the season, that Southern Miss loss doesn't hurt us too bad in terms of competing in the SEC. So we're going to need to really strengthen up here in our conference schedule, even though our games are kind of plotted all over the place in terms of conference and at a conference. But if we can just play strong now, moving ahead against the SEC teams ahead of us, then we may still be on a similar track to the one that we were on last season. So we need a big win today against the Razorbacks. Not looking too great, but it is possible. So on 3rd and 7 from their own 20, Arkansas unloads a deep ball, drops it right into the pocket here in between 3 defenders. There was a hole in that zone right along the sidelines, and Arkansas's quarterback was able to find it. So that is a humongous pickup for the Razorbacks offense. As they have now not necessarily flipped the field, but at least treaded a little bit past midfield here. But on a 3rd and 1 now, as they get closer and closer to our 30-yard line, Arkansas has to pick up yet another first down, and that play completely falls apart as a very convoluted formation ends up in our defensive tackle just completely penetrating through the center and getting the tackle made. So Arkansas is going to keep the offense on the field for a 4th and 2 now, and they're going to go with a handoff to the fullback, and he tries to break a tackle but can't quite do it, but does get enough for the first down. So Arkansas's drive will continue. So after an amazing 3rd down stop, our defense cannot come up strong on 4th down, but they do force another 3rd and short for the Razorbacks, but this time it is the running back who gets the call, and he gets the first down in a little bit more. So Arkansas is continuing this drive, which has seemed dead to rights about 2 or 3 separate times already. And now they're looking to maybe not just add some points here, but get a touchdown on the board as number 4, their running back, makes a nice breaks a nice tackle to get just a little bit more after the first. So on a 2nd and 10 now for the Razorbacks offense in I formation, they're going to hand it off again to number 4, and he's got some space on the edge and gets brought down in the end zone, but it is going to be a touchdown. So Arkansas eats a lot of time off the clock here with a long drive that saw a few 3rd downs and even a 4th down. And that's going to come up big for the Razorbacks as they strike early here at home in Fayetteville. So now we have another opportunity, or an opportunity on offense here. Number 12, the very first play of the game, and he's going to lay up an absolute duck in double coverage. And this one's heading the other way for the Razorbacks. Number 12 is the only one who could make the play, and he cannot do it. So that's going to be a pick 6 for Arkansas. So now both sides of the ball are creating stuff for the Razorbacks as they now have an offensive and defensive touchdown in the first quarter. And we find ourselves in quite the deficit heading into the second quarter of play now in this game. So Arkansas with the football yet again on 1st and 10. It's a pitch play. That play seemed like it kind of fell apart too. And number 4 fumbles the football, and it's the Crimson Tide defense that's going to come up with it. So now both teams have exchanged turnovers here in this primetime matchup. A beautiful tackle here, way to get the football back, but on a 3rd and very long now for the Alabama offense, number 12 steps up, unloads a deep ball, and he finds Spears downfield, who hauls this one in, and it is an amazing first down pickup for the Crimson Tide offense that really needed a big jolt here with the early pick. So fast forward to a 3rd and inches here inside the 20, and it's going to be a handoff to 33, who runs up the middle, has some open room and space here, and shakes off a couple guys, but gets inside the 10 for a 1st and goal. So we're going to hand it off again, see if he can finish the job, and he cannot as he tries to get to the outside, but Arkansas's defense has it one well covered. Now underneath a minute here in the first half, going to have to move a little bit quicker here. No spike, just going to run another play here. Number 12 tries to go to 33 in the flat, and he's got no space on the outside to get anywhere, so it's going to be a quick 3rd and goal as time ticks closer and closer to about 30 seconds left in the half, taking a little bit longer here to set it up. And number 12 is going to run now, and the pressure is all the way on as he gets brought down by a few Razorback defenders who got all the way inside and got to the quarterback. So 4th and goal. Now we're going to bring up the kicking unit and see if we can knock one through, and it's a fake field goal. There was an open receiver in the end zone, but he could not make the throw. He threw it to the wrong receiver. He threw it to one that was covered instead of the wide open one. And so now 0 points go on the board for Alabama. I get the risk factor here, and Arkansas is going to fumble the football again, and this time inside of their own 5, but they do recover it, and the time is just going to expire as the first half is going to come to a close after a pretty wild finish here in the final minute. So Sick Naben really trying to risk it for the biscuit here in the end of the first half just to try and get back in the ball game, and it actually wasn't even that bad of a call, as again we had an open receiver but just could not seem to convert on special teams. So on the opening kickoff here to start the second half here, on the return, it's going to be another fumble, and the Crimson Tide are going to have themselves another turnover as Arkansas is able to recover the fumble. So 2 pretty key turnovers here at really pivotal points in the game here in the opening drive, and on the opening drive in the second half are going to set Arkansas up to potentially add another score and pretty much put this one, I mean, not away, but give themselves quite a bit of padding. And number 4 runs right up the middle, just about untouched, and it's another Arkansas touchdown. So the Razorbacks are really just kind of teeing off of our big mistakes here, and we really even haven't had an opportunity to even play good or bad, as we haven't really had much to do on offense. So But that would be all she wrote for this ball game, folks. It's going to be a short episode because nothing else would happen outside of that drive off of the turnover in the second half. So Arkansas is going to pick themselves up their first conference win and extend to 5-0, and we're going to drop even further, probably out of the rankings entirely after losing to the number 9th ranked team in the country. So back-to-back losses to ranked opponents. That was an area where we actually played not that bad last year. I think we were 6-3 overall against ranked opponents last season. Played a lot of ranked teams last year, but already in year number 2, Sick Naben is not off to the best start against ranked opponents. And there you see our offense, man. Offensive numbers are just kind of bad, kind of piss poor. So quarterback really did not play that well. Number 12 kind of struggled. The third down percentage is about the same for both, but really not much was going on for either team in this game, as neither team could really get anything going on offense in the second half of the game. So most of those stats you're seeing are essentially just first half stats, because really nothing else was happening past that. So yeah, there you go, there you see. So only 25 yards from our running back here, a pretty poor game from our quarterback, of course. Yeah, just not a lot really to kind of write home about, man. There's just nothing really going on. So it's going to be a short episode. I thought about maybe extending it to another game, but I figured, we could just get out of here, get a quick game out of the way, and we have another ranked opponent. It's the Georgia Bulldogs, who we're very familiar with. We played them twice last year, one of those games, of course, being in the SEC title game in Atlanta. So here's our third matchup, Sick Naben's third matchup against the Bulldogs, and it's going to be a tough one, not an easy one. So I hope to see everyone back at Bryant-Denny when we take on the Bulldogs.